Time now for a big exclusive. Now's editor Faye D'Souza caught up with Sean Tompkins, global CEO of RICS. Tompkins was in Cannes for the MIPM, one of the world's biggest real estate conferences. Listen in as Tompkins speaks about India's REITs push and the importance of RERA.
Right, on the sidelines of MIPM 2017, thank you for speaking with us and taking time out for me. I want to understand, obviously, from an India perspective, all of the things that you've announced here. I know that RICS is working very closely with the Indian government. How far have you gotten in terms of just advising the government, I know to begin with, on REITs?
Yep.
How much of the advice has been taken?
Yep.
What's happening so far?
Look, I think there are two things that have happened so far. I think firstly, the really important bit is that we began with education, because I think that there was a real recognition at a government level and at our level and an industry level that in order to be able to create the markets that are needed in India in the future, then actually we've got to start by educating the next generation. So I think it's really great, and we've felt massively supported. You know, when you get into areas like REITs, they're underpinned by the quality of valuation standards ultimately, and therefore I think that they're the two aspects that we've worked on. I think that the next area is the whole piece about India and smart cities and data and the use of data, and we're working on looking at data standards within construction to bring some consistency into India at the same time.
So obviously there's a lot being said about RERA and the fact that RERA asks not just developers but also brokers, which is such an unorganized sector, to now register and become more organized. It doesn't though mention qualifications to either be a broker or to be part of a real estate organization. Do you believe that should have already been part of the system, or do you think that it could be phase two?
I think it should be phase two. Actually, it's not unusual in many markets for the broker market to begin with some form of state-based or registration. So that's not an unusual beginning, and I think it's a good beginning to have people who are registered.
Tell me what sort of difference will it make to the customer? And right now India is very customer focused. What difference will it make to the customer to have these developers qualify their workforce?
Well, they'll have to undertake certain requirements, particularly around ethics, integrity and trust, complaints handling facilities, ability to arbitrate if there is a dispute. And I think these are really important things. So in many parts of the world where those standards have been developed, there are really easy mechanisms outside of the courts to deal with construction disputes, because if you're in a situation where the things aren't going right, you know, it can take forever to resolve these things, and if you're a member of the public or an investor, you can't really wait 5 years for the courts to be able to deal with it. So you start to bring in independent expert arbitration, and you accept those arbitrations of experts. So all of these things, I think, will be the dynamics that will be implemented into the marketplace.